It starts with you. You bring it to the people. So we're just really, really happy to be here, man. So thank you.
Glad to do it. The people want it. We have a little feature here called Hit It or Quit It. Whenever we play your guys' songs, they love it.
Awesome, man. It's always a plus for us, man. So we're stoked about that.
How's the tour been going so far?
It's been going good. We came up and we did a little bit of the East Coast part of Canada, and we came up here, and then we started this one, so we went back down to the States for a couple of weeks, and then came back up. So It's been great. The reaction's been great. It sucked we took so long to get back, but I think we're gonna make it not so long the next time. I think we're actually looking at November right now.
Yeah, I mean,
wow.
with Amaryllis as a whole, as far as the record and presenting it to the world. As far as the live aspect of what we do, we started off at the beginning of this year in Europe and the UK, then we made it to the US, and then we went back to the UK and to Europe, and then we got back to the US, and now we're finally in Canada working on the record here. We were actually just in Canada about 10-11 days ago, and then we came back in. We're doing this run, and then we have the Uproar Festival that we're doing this summer in the US, but then we're looking right now and booking November to come back into Canada for some bigger events.
So you don't stop pretty much?
No, there's not when an album's out, no. I mean, on the last record we toured for 31 months on that record and did like over 440 something shows. So we're very, very fortunate to understand that we're quite fearless when it comes to making records and when it comes to presenting ourselves live. For us personally, we're always trying to outdo what we've already done. We're not necessarily a creature of habit because we're ever evolving. Just like with the record, we don't make the same record twice. And same thing with the presenting the live show. We're always trying to go to the next step visually.
Now, how do you do that? How do you go from touring for 31 months to writing a new record to right back to touring? Because that's got to take a toll on your body.
I mean, we don't write on the road. So we finished touring December 9th of 2010 on Sound of Madness, and then we took pretty much from December 9th to mid-January off, and then went to LA and started writing, and then the whole 11 was done doing the record. And then we had a little bit, maybe a couple months off to ourselves, but I mean, this is what we do. This is what we love to do. This isn't like work for us, So when we're off the road, we miss being on the road. We miss our families when we're out here, but we as we get older, I think we're making more exceptions to have them out. And
it's definitely not a hobby with us. I mean, the way that we always look at each other every night is we try to maintain not being desensitized to what it is that we have been given an opportunity to do, which is what we dreamed of doing since we were kids, which is be songwriters and be musicians and be performers. And we might have played together over thousands of times, but when we're in front of an audience, a lot of times every night I'll ask the audience, if this is your first time seeing Shinedown, raise your hand, and you'd be surprised, 80 to 90% of the audiences raise their hand, like the whole place. And that also shows us that we're constantly being able to get out there to a different generation, to a different dynamic, and it might be the very first time they're ever seeing us. So we have to go on stage every single night with that attitude of, do this like it's the first time, in a way. And then it's a bit romantic in a way, between us and the audience. At the end of the day, we only have one boss. It just happens to be every one of them.
You guys sound so like a new band. You don't sound like you have a couple of million-plus selling records under your belt. It's very different.
No, I mean, we understand that it can be taken away at any moment. We're never going to be satisfied, and we're always going to try to give our audience, whether they've been there from day one or they're just finding out about us, our absolute everything, who we are. We're very upfront with the audience, and we understand that in a lot of ways the show is the audience. The event might be that Shinedown is in your town or your country or what have you, but it's a beautiful circle, and the beautiful thing about music is that it's ever evolving. It's a pendulum that swings back and forth. But even though we're influenced by a lot of different music and a lot of different genres, I mean, we still believe in drums, bass, guitar, badass vocals, and a killer song, because that's rock and roll, and rock and roll is a way of life. So we present that and we live that every day of our lives.
Now, getting to the rock and roll, you had such success with the Sound of Madness. How did you go mentally following that up with? Is it Amaryllis? Is that
Amaryllis.
Amaryllis. I'll get it right once.
No, it's all good. Everybody has a different way of saying it. I don't know how would you answer that question?
I think I think once Sound of Madness hit, I always tell people I think the band found our sound on Sound of Madness. I think that was the honing in of what the Shinedown sound is, and I think just with Rob Cavallo doing this record too, just ever evolving as songwriters, number one, and more so as people. I mean, we became tighter on this record than we were before. You know, right when Eric joined the band too, and you'd think that would be the tightest we would ever be because it's new and it's fresh, but now we get along better than ever, and I think it's because as you get older too, the respecting of each other and the way we write songs now is completely different than the way we wrote songs before. We actually, you know, usually it would just be Brent and then another writer or, you know, someone else, and now we try to do as much as we can together, and that's a great thing, you know, as far as us, and I think it kind of created the atmosphere of this record. It's a very atmospherical record if you listen to it. You know, the landscapes on this record are so much bigger than the last record. And it's just an evolving, like you said, with music, it's an evolving thing. You know, this record evolved from the last record. It's a more, I don't know.
I think we had a lot more patience on this album, not only with the musicality of it, but just with each other. Okay. We understood that it wasn't going to be written like overnight, and we didn't look at the idea of that we were on a timeline. And you know, we're a band that talks to one another. We hang out with one another. You know, on days off, we really do spend time with each other pretty much consistently all the time, even down to the crew that we keep on the road, because it's a very difficult job and it's not for everybody. So you know, we're very upfront with one another. But as far as the record is concerned, we were patient with each other, and we realized that what we wanted to do was something groundbreaking, and we wanted to make an album, not just a record. There is a difference. And the record really became a concept album without being conceptual, but there, you know, every single song on Amaryllis, it's there for a reason, and it's in the order that it's in for a reason as well.
Well, I mean, every single song sounds epic. Like, there's just a sound to it. I don't know if it's the production, I don't know if it's the writing, but you guys, but every single one, it just, one after another, it all flows perfectly together.
I think that you have to go into it. You know, some people have said that when I've said this, that it kind of can sound a little. I might be coming off a little bit strong when I say this, but Shinedown is an epic band. The sound is epic for a reason. Some bands, if they put like an orchestra on something, they do it because they think it might sound cool. We don't do it like that. You know, there are orchestrations on our records. There's actually a 10-piece horn section on this album on one song. They ask for it. What I mean by that is the songs themselves. There is a difference between adding it because you think it'll be cool and adding it because the song asks you nicely, can I please have an orchestra? And there's something magical that does happen when that song comes to life. And we've been very lucky that we are that type of band that quite frankly can pull it off.
Now, how do you guys find the balance between the softer ballads and the harder rock songs? Because you've had success with both, or is it just organically written that way and that's just how it all comes about?
I don't think we really stray away from a song. If it's, we've never gone into any writing session and said we're going to write this song today. I think it comes out how it comes out, and I think it started, like I said, on Madness, where those kind of songs started coming in, the more kind of ballady songs. There were lighter songs on Us and Them and Leave a Whisper, but they weren't necessarily ballads. And I think on this record, it's just where we were coming from at the time. I mean, we were all in better places on this record than we were on Madness and vice versa. So, I mean, I think those songs kind of come very naturally. But, yeah, we never go in and say, okay, today we're going to write a heavy song, or today we're going to write a ballad.
I think that the cohesiveness of everything has been built by design. Like, each record has gotten, it's gotten a lot more fluid each time. When you talk about the different dynamic between a heavier tempo, because a lot of times what you're talking about is the tempo of a song, whether it's a ballad or it's considered a waltz, which is in like 6/8 or what have you, or you know, if you're breaking down the doors with like, you know, a thrash or a punk rock style beat. It's just the speed of the song a lot of times, but we've definitely been lucky with the evolution of everything. It's all been a progression.
And there's lots of new music to premiere for Saskatoon, since it's the first time here with the new record. Is it all going to be played tonight, or are you going to be picking pieces of it?
There are pieces of everything, and so there's a lot of the new record in it, just because that's what we're trying to push right now. We kind of adore these songs. We're still in that state of we're in love with these songs still, and they're fun to play, and the crowd likes them. You know, and I think so. Right now, there's a lot, but there's a little bit of everything. There's the old, there's the middle, and there's the new for sure.
How do you get the strings and everything on tour with you, or do you just go straightforward rock and roll? guitar
No, I mean
strums.
we do it in a very, very sophisticated manner. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
It's there.
So I
but
missed
it's
you guys
done-
last time you were here with Nickelback, but
It's done a very for us the live. It's you'll never know. Like I mean the thing is that we're very methodical when it comes to the live show. Believe me, you're gonna get every single thing that you want to get tonight.
trying to tiptoe around everything, just not giving any specifics of tonight.
Then it wouldn't be a show. There's got to be an element of mystery and surprise.
That's fair.
Magician like.
Yes.
I'm hoping it's not a surprise who's opening up for you. Can you let us know who that is?
Yeah, it's Adelita's way in this moment.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Awesome. And you're off tomorrow. You're going to hang out in Saskatoon tonight and tomorrow, or just straight on to Edmonton?
We head to Edmonton tonight, I think, like 1
We would stay here, but we have to go to another show.
It's disappointing.
But we're here tonight, and that's all that matters. For the
So-
next how many
so
hours?
come
12
tonight.
hours?
For the next 12 hours, you have all of Shinedown.
You have everything that you want from us. We're yours.
all of us.
I love that. Well, next time you're here, hopefully
Clothing
November.
optional.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's gonna
I
get
like that
really
even
sexy
better.
tonight.
For the ladies, just for the ladies. Gentlemen, you know, if you swing that way, it's totally cool. Not our bag.
what about man boobs? That's
That's
kind of
okay.
like. Oh, that's
none,
okay.
none of us in the band have those, so that's good, I guess.
Good.
But you can bring yours if you'd like.
Oh, that hurts.
We don't discriminate.
That
No, I
hurts
didn't
me a little
mean
bit. Not
yours.
not mine specifically.
That
Talking
wasn't,
about
that
mine?
wasn't a you people.
Oh, okay.
That wasn't a you people?
You
Oh
can
my
bring
gosh.
yours. You can bring yours.
Brent and Zach, thank you guys so much for coming in. The Odeon tonight. Can't wait for the show.
Thanks for
Awesome,
having
man.
us.
Thanks for having us.